Sports Entertainment Talk. Get ready for in-depth discussions on everything from the court to the field, mixed with the business and culture that orbit the sports world. Whether it's the latest blockbuster trade or the societal impact of sports, Two Men On with your hosts, Van Nunley and Fred Slow, with producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
Hey, yo, what it is, Duke City. Welcome to the program. Welcome to Two Men On. Welcome to 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. One Van Nunley here, one Zay Johnson back at the studio. One Fred Slow will be joining the program in the 5 o'clock hour as he's out helping the children's, Zay.
Okay, I thought you were going to do the, the typical Fred. Yeah,
not here.
but I guess you didn't get that.
It's not a typical Fred's not here because Fred will be here.
Okay.
Lucky for me, I got you back at the studio, Zay. Lucky for me, Sadie's own Gilbert Sanchez will be joining us in the 4 o'clock hour. But I want to dive right into it, Zay.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I was at Sadie's last week. I was at Sadie's. Yeah.
You got you got your tamale fix. Now you're hooked, huh?
Yeah. This time I went with the enchiladas. Okay, I went with the enchiladas. They were so busy though, and I didn't get to the bar area, so I was on the other side. And I said, "Hey, is Gilbert here?" And then she said, "He's really, really busy, but I'll try." And then Mr. Gilbert was packed in there, so didn't get a chance to see him. But I do want him to know that I stopped by and tried Sadie's off air. And yeah, it was very, very good. 10 out of 10.
Attaboy. You're one of us now, Zay. You got that. You got that tongue for green chili. You got that tongue for red chili.
Mm-hmm.
And first off, welcome.
Yes, I got a margarita. It was a watermelon margarita.
Dang.
Yeah, there's some more stuff in there.
I think I've tried all the different margaritas in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a classic marg guy.
Yeah.
Marg.
Classic with the lime in there, right?
Yeah, a little lime, little triple sec, a lot of tequila, hopefully.
Yeah, I usually go for the strawberry, not much more. But sorry, I did want to get that out there.
Well, you're being a little too cliche going with watermelon last time. So.
Yeah, I was like, let me fix it up. I do typically go strawberry because not a lot of places will have a watermelon margarita, but strawberry, it's always like what? Strawberry, classic, and then there's one more I always see.
I don't know if they still have it on the menu now, but they had a incredible coconut margarita.
Wow.
It was like a margarita and a pina colada had a baby. It was fantastic. That's so good.
That sounds good. Okay, but sorry, I'm
definitely going to be eating here after the program. I ain't got time right now. But some good grub is coming my way, baby, and probably a couple margs as well. So how's your stock portfolio doing today, Zay?
If I was in, I'd be very, very upset. I've heard, man. I probably have heard about 200 different newscasts. Well, actually, I've been over there in KKOB for like a little over a year. So I'll go ahead and say 300 and, well, no, it's not every day of the week. So yeah, 200 newscast, and they always give the stock update. This was the first time where it made my ear perk because it sounded different. So from my understanding, I don't think the stock has had, whether it be good or bad, jump like this or a fall off like this since I've been here.
The Dow Jones took a 4% hit today. That's over $2 trillion in value. S&P 500 down 5%. NASDAQ down 6%. I hope your retirement is okay, friends of the show. These kind of things happen in the stock market. They fluctuate, but it seems like, I don't know, since January 20th, the stock market's just been going down. And luckily, I diversify, Zay. My portfolio is diverse.
Nice. I heard, at least from what I thought, it would get a lot better. Like, I thought that was one of the things to look forward to moving forward. It was that,
oh, for sure.
Okay, well, at least like stocks and investing will take a boost. So hopefully it doesn't stay like this. But if you wanted to get started, if it's down right now, isn't now the time to really jump in? Is that how that works?
I would proceed with caution. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't sell everything right now and then invest in something different. But I would be patient because if you start selling right now, it's just going to keep going down. And if you start buying, I doubt you get the right price where the stocks are right now. But then again, I'm not a market expert. I'm just aware of what's going on.
I'm like, okay, I'll buy then while it's low if that's how that type of stuff works.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother.
Give it a minute. It's going to dip a little more, Zay.
Okay.
Stocks are going up for the Los Angeles Lakers, though, as they've won 11 out of 12. And since they've acquired Luka, a little bit of hiccups, kind of a little learning curve at first in between LeBron and Luka, learning each other's games. But it seems like they are right in step now, winning 11 out of 12 games, and they look like a legit contender to at least compete and possibly beat the juggernaut Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, I think the Thunder, they're the number one team in the West right now. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Right now, regular season. Yeah, regular season right now, I give it to the Thunder. Shai's playing out of his mind. And then to really help his case out, now he may have thought he had the MVP locked up in the bag, but then you got Jokic over here getting the first ever 60-point triple-double. So then I think that's going to make it so that even though the Thunder are like, I think they could stop playing today and still would be first in the West when the season was over. But they're very motivated, and I don't believe they're experienced enough, nor does it seem majority of the media, but I'm sure they do. So they're the number one team right now for the Lakers to have to take out.
Obviously, the NBA season isn't that long, but the Oklahoma City Thunder can lose 50 straight games and still be in the play-in right now.
Wow.
That's how far ahead they are of the 10 and 11s.
Yeah, they took – I mean, and you have a lot of teams like this. Here's what I think. Like, since I started watching basketball, I can't think of a team that was, unless maybe LeBron and Miami, I can't think of a team that was just steamrolling the whole regular season and then continued to steamroll through the playoffs and won the championship. Like, I feel like nowadays it doesn't happen as much. I don't know when that stopped, or I obviously before 2007, I wouldn't know. But like you saw it with the Derrick Rose Bulls when they were winning 65 games a season, but they could never get past LeBron in the playoffs. So I think that's what OKC might be dealing with.
If OKC wins out, they're going to win 70 games. That is incredible. That's historic. That's not like a really good team. That is in the history of the NBA historic team. Excuse me, 6 straight, not 7 straight. They win their last 6 games. They will have won 70 games and put themselves in the upper echelon of incredible NBA teams in the history of the sport. What they're doing is not getting enough attention because of what LA is doing.
Yeah.
With LeBron and Luka and the rise of AR. They are playing out of their mind. Talking about the Lakers, Thunder's been playing out of their mind all year, but the Lakers have been playing out of their mind recently. They've been playing incredible. It is fun to watch.
Yeah, the Lakers are awesome. They just need to play defense. If they can stay good on defense, they're fine. Because when I really thought about it the other day, the Lakers have like this formula that I'm sure a lot of good teams have, where it's like, okay, this guy contributes this much and this guy contributes this much, and then you combine so-and-so off the bench, should be a good game. But in the Lakers case, you've got 2 players in LeBron and Luka who are only going to play so bad. Like, even if they have a bad game, they're still going to be effective, in my opinion. So you have LeBron and Luka. Austin Reeves is now becoming consistent 20 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. So I'll call them a big 3. But outside of that big 3, they've got a great bench. They've got Rui Hachimura. They've got Gabe Vincent. Yeah,
strong.
Rui's great. Gabe Vincent, great. Jared Vanderbilt, great defensive player. He can sometimes hit some shots. You got Jackson Hayes, who one of these games, he was 8 for 9 in the first half, all dunks, because he knows how to read Luka and read LeBron, and he just rolls to the hoop, gets dunks. And then they've also got Dorian Finney-Smith, who he's a 3-and-D guy. So they've got 5 players who, if those guys can just shoot, now whether it's LeBron or Luka or both on the floor at the same time, all they have to do is drive in, crash a paint, dish out. The way the Lakers play is the way the Lobos wished they could have played last year. If the Lobos would have had like a couple of shooters, they would have been able to play just like the Lakers. Drive, kick out, bang, shooters are on, and it's like almost impossible to beat a team that's doing that plus good defense.
Yeah, hard agree right now. And you didn't even mention Dalton Connect, who is
my God.
If they let that kid take the top off, he'll be draining threes.
Yeah,
you can't double both LeBron and Luka. The Los Angeles Lakers will perpetually have one dude open. If their third or fourth guy is hitting shots, and then Jackson Hayes pick and roll dunking over people, it's going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, that's peak Lakers right there. And when Luka got traded, it's like, oh, villain arc Luka. Luka's going to be, he's going to be pissed. And I think he has grown into that point where maybe now he's playing with that chip. But when Dalton Connect was traded and then brought back to the team, number one, he was starting to go viral on social media because he was visibly not happy. Like everyone's laughing, celebrating. He was just sitting there. Even JJ Redick said the first game back, he didn't even play because he had to mentally adjust and like digest what had just happened. But he's come back and he's been playing pissed off. He's playing with a chip in his shoulder. He's confident. He's trying to dunk on people every other game. Now he's given himself about 3 near concussions from doing so because he can't figure out how to hold on to the rim after he dunks it. So he'll go up for a dunk, grab the rim, and then his hands slip off. And then he just falls upside down. Yeah. Ugly fall after ugly fall. So, yeah, overall, the Lakers are great. It's great being a Lakers fan. And, it's great times right now.
It's gonna be great being a Lakers fan for a long time because you got Luka, baby.
Yeah, I know.
He has been playing lights out. Hey, Ozempic Luka, dude, keto Luka, South Beach diet Luka. I don't even know what he's doing, but whatever he's doing, it's working. He is svelte. He is skinny. He is a absolute force. MVP contender, not MVP Luka, because Nikola Jokic exists.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Shia LaBeouf, Alexander Gilgamesh, he exists. So, sorry, Luka, no MVP this year. But, I mean, he's playing at an elite level, and it's awesome to watch.
Yeah, just imagine being me, right? And you're a Cowboys and a Lakers fan. Number one, there's a lot of us out there that are fans of both teams, I've learned, pleasantly. So you got a lot of people that are fans of both teams. But in my position, you've got, and I made this point too. Let's see if you agree. I think that the Cowboys and the Lakers are the 2 biggest sports franchises. I feel like NFL's bigger than NBA, but I feel like outside of the Dallas Cowboys, I don't know if there's another NFL team that's as popular as the Lakers. I feel like the Lakers, if you want to go off popularity and you combined both leagues, I feel like you'd go Cowboys, Lakers. And then I don't know after that. Maybe Chiefs have worked their way up to, but like globally, I don't know. Taylor Swift helps.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, the Chiefs are almost on par with the Cowboys, but they're not the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
But I would agree with you there. I mean, it's Cowboys number 1, Lakers 2, probably Yankees 3.
Yep.
And then I know you're seeing this through your melanated rose-colored glasses, but the Celtics are gigantic as well.
Yes. Oh yeah.
The Knicks are gigantic as well. But there's still no Los Angeles Lakers. They're the king of the NBA, and that's why we're talking about them, not the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are dominating, who are incredible. They are. Oklahoma City is better than the Los Angeles Lakers, but it's more fun to talk about LeBron and Luka. It's sexier to talk about LeBron and Luka. I mean, I don't want to crunch X's and O's and talk about how deep Oklahoma City Thunder's bench is. That's not fun.
Yeah, they try with Shea, the whole aura thing. They try. Like, they try to make him, he's got the interviews where they're like, so Shea, how are you so consistent on the floor? He's like, everything I do in my life's consistent. And his teammates behind him like, oh my god, oh. Yeah, they're trying to do that.
The rap battle meme. Where
It's exactly how it is though. But I think they're being serious, which is even worse. But they tried with Shea, and it stuck a little bit. It's like you're throwing snowballs at the wall. It stuck a little bit, but Then that Luka trade happened, and it boosted the whole NBA. And if you think about the NBA, we were talking about how, it's not as good as it used to be. But not only did the Luka trade help, but in the Western Conference, like, you got 5 teams that are like within a game of one spot. Like, the competitiveness, and you look over at the East, it's the same way. It's not super tough. Cleveland, Oklahoma City, they're both at the top of both sides. But then from 2 to like 5, 2 to 6, 2 to 7, you have no idea what to expect. So it's going to be a great playoffs.
Well, really, the difference in between the Thunder and the number 2 seeded Rockets right now, with the Lakers breathing down their neck, is 14 and a half games. The distance between the number 2 Rockets and the hoping to play in 11 seeded Suns is 14 and a half games. That's how dominant the Thunder are. It's incredible.
Yeah, tip of the hat to Shea and the rest of the Thunder team. They did a lot of that without Chet Holmgren. So
we're going to hit you with some more NBA talk when you get back. You brought up a good point about the MVP battle with Nikola and Shea. We're going to hit on that a little bit, and we're going to do it with friend of the show, Sadie's own Gilbert Sanchez. More sports and sports-adjacent talk all day, all the way to 7 o'clock here at Sadie's on 4th Street. We're in the bar. We're having fun. We're sipping some margs. And the second I'm done, I'm getting the best enchiladas in Albuquerque. You're listening to Two Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Eat Lux your way with the new $5 club.
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On. Welcome back to 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Hanging out at Sadie's on 4th Street right now. And we're doing it with, well, not Sadie, but Sadie's Mr. Everything here at Sadie's on 4th Street, Gilbert Sanchez. What's happening, my man? It's been a cool minute since we've been back, dude.
Yeah, it's been a while. With March Madness, we had a little spring break. I had to do a little spring break with the niece, so got that out of the way. But yeah, Sadie would be here if she could. So I am the fill-in.
We're just talking to Brian Stafford, owner-operator here at Sadie's. Been, in Sadie's family, the whole time. It's been a restaurant, and he was adamant about me reminding the friends of the show that CJ and Black Horse, country music at its finest, will be out on the patio tonight. I'm stoked for that.
Yeah, I don't know if I brought the right boots. I am wearing the right pants.
Yeah, I got some J's on. You could two-step in any kind of shoes you want.
Yeah, well, I'll be looking for a partner out there. So if you're staying late, you guys are here late.
I'll two-step with a dude.
Right.
Don't you dare challenge me to a good time.
I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to that, so I'll sit this one out.
So two-step, Gilbert, is the easiest dance in the history of the world. What you do is you take 2 steps to the left and then 1 step to the right, and you do that over and over and over again until the light of the neon moon is gone.
I know the words to that song. Yeah. I don't know my left from my right, though, so that is also
bummer.
Yeah, I can walk forward and back. That's easy for me. 2 steps.
All right, Gilbert, I hear you loud and clear. I will lead.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I got you.
I don't mind. I don't mind.
So here's a hot tip. You got your the lead obviously would have their left hand out because we're going to the left.
Just tell me where my hands go.
And you put your hand into my hand, okay? And it would be your right hand. Okay, and with the beat, I will be moving my left hand up and down to give you the rhythm, and then my right hand will be softly nestled at your hip, and I'll be guiding you around the dance floor. Gilbert.
Now, since I'm left-handed, do I
completely straight? By the way,
would you be a gentleman?
Okay,
and we would do the left hand hold. I would rather your right hand was on my waist instead of your left. Please.
Okay. Well, no, the right hand would be on your waist.
Left hand would be on my waist then.
Oh, you want me to switch it around?
Yes,
okay.
There we go.
You want me to Jimi Hendrix this guitar?
If you were here right now, we'd probably look very weird. We're kind of
a fly on the wall seeing us do this with our hands right now. It's got to be super weird.
We look like robots. We're doing.
What are we doing? Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. What's the hotness at Sadie's right now, Gilbert?
Well, the salsa's hot, as always. I just had some of that. We got some awesome spring specials. There's some tilapia.
Whoa.
Yeah, Chipotle lime tilapia on the menu.
Sell a lot of those on Friday.
That is correct.
Yeah. We got a couple more weeks of selling the heck out of those. Yeah. There's some shrimp tacos. There's a delicious shrimp cocktail as well that is on our spring menu.
Dang.
So come on down if you enjoy the meat in the sea. We have that here for you.
Awesome.
Yes.
I mean, you don't have to have fish on Friday. You can get anything you want on the menu.
No, you could.
But there's options. There are fish options on Friday.
They're all you can
talking
get fish.
To you, my
you get
beautiful
right
Catholic
now.
Brethren.
Thank you.
Yeah, not just on Friday, any day of the week.
You can get fish right now. Yeah. You don't have to. You don't have to follow the rules of anything. If you want to get fish now, we'll cook it. If you prefer to eat fish on Friday, we will also have it then. We also have bean burritos that would also fit into your Friday diet.
Okay.
For anybody who's looking to do that. So lots of there's Calavasita burrito that you can dive into. It is National Burrito Day, by the way.
Today?
Oh. That is today. We are we have plenty of burritos, including our New Mexicali burrito, originally created with my old pal, UCLA point guard Donovan Dent, which I have been torn up about for. Yeah.
I think that was the only thing keeping Donovan Dent in Albuquerque was delicious Sadie's salsa, delicious Sadie's food. Is he 21?
We didn't get our friendship wasn't
Okay. If
wasn't at that point.
If he's 21, obviously the margaritas kept him here.
that probably
Almost kept him
I
here.
assume he's a senior now at this point. I just got a text message that said, "Dude, it's ceviche, not shrimp cocktail."
Okay.
I am sorry. We have not. I've been out and about slinging salsa and delicious canned cocktails. That
Yes.
I didn't realize that we're serving ceviche, which is almost the same thing.
It's close. I mean, you use
I'm
the
sorry.
same. You use the same dishes
Same
as
dishes.
as you would shrimp cocktail.
Now, yes,
Different flavor profile.
It could potentially. It is
Yeah.
still a shrimp. You will still be consuming.
Yeah.
A shrimp.
Shrimp cocktail never appealed to me because it's just shrimp, and you dip it
That's true.
in cocktail sauce,
Now I don't.
which
I don't,
is just
yeah. It's interesting. Hey, but
horseradish,
we're
tomato sauce, and horseradish. Is that what cocktail sauce is?
Yeah, I get. I mean, yeah. I don't.
I would
dabble
know,
too
but I've
much.
never made it.
Were you never a seafood guy?
Well, I grew up on the Gulf Coast of Texas, way before all the oil spills,
Okay.
and I ate a lot of seafood growing up, but no, not the biggest seafood guy.
Yeah, it just doesn't do it for me. For some, it does. And we're here to offer that
Excellent.
to those people because we don't discriminate.
You got a lot of people though who like they don't like seafood or they consider themselves not seafood fans, but they still like shrimp. Shrimp is usually the one thing that'll pass the test. But then I've noticed if you have your people that love seafood, they're more often to say I don't like shrimp. I don't know why, but I feel like once you dive all the way into the seafood world, you're like, oh, there's so much better than shrimp.
That is true. Yep.
But me personally, I've always been a shrimp guy.
It's the kids' meal of seafood, I guess, right?
Yes,
Oh,
that's a great way to look at it.
It's below me. I don't.
It's the chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Chicken nuggets.
Yeah. Popcorn shrimp, maybe.
That's a good. Especially if you batter it and fry it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yep.
I
Popcorn
see it.
shrimp, huh?
Yeah. The chicken nuggets of the ocean. It's a really good comp.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that. I see them as the cockroaches of the ocean.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah,
But
factually, I've
Because
heard.
they are literally bottom feeders. They clean up all the fish poop at the bottom of the ocean, but that's not here nor there.
That's why you wash them.
ours are clean. Ours are clean here. The ceviche is it's delicious and poop free.
Yeah, back to ceviche.
Yes.
That was one of my favorite seafood dishes because
Really?
it tastes so different than all of the other seafood dishes.
It all tastes the same to me, honestly.
Yeah. So
The wor-
you're not a seafood
The
guy.
worst seafood. Oh yeah, no, don't. I had sushi for the first time maybe a year ago.
Wow.
Yeah, my wife. I've been married 10 years, and my wife finally talked me into it. Yeah, I don't get it. I'm more of a steak and potatoes guy.
Of course, but
Yeah.
which one did you try? Because there's some sushis where even I don't.
Well, I'm bad. I don't like vegetables either.
Okay.
I'm really bad. So if it has vegetables, there's some avocado hiding in there, count me out. I had a delicious. It was seared tuna with crab meat. It was some special at the place I went to, and it was good. I
I
go
guess tuna.
once a quarter.
Was there anything crunchy in it? Was there like a battered something to give it some crunch?
Well,
some texture?
there were some onion, the little onion crumbles that they those are good. It was good.
Okay. Yeah.
When I used to be a big sushi guy, I needed crunch. I needed some different texture than the mushy rice and the chewy seaweed and the raw fish.
So you like a cucumber or something?
It didn't feel good in my mouth. I didn't like it in my mouth. I needed something crunchy, something that goes.
Yeah.
One thing I know I'll never
usually-
like is caviar.
Can't do that.
I don't care how if I could be a billionaire, I'll pass on the caviar.
Oysters.
It's the visual. It looks it's too visual.
Point, dude. You just swallow. Like there's no joy.
Right. You don't even taste it.
No. Like
You just burp it. You just burp it later. The only way you taste oysters is by burping in like 45 minutes or an hour. I think you're wasting it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand that one.
You catfish and shrimp me up.
You have the option to have seafood here on the spring menu, is what we originally were talking
Let's
about.
get back to the original.
Let's get back to some sports. Let's do that when we get back. Hanging out on Sadie's on 4th Street. Got some music on the patio tonight. CJ and Black Horse, country music at its finest. I'll be out there. Hey, friend of the show, bring your grandma. I want a 2-step with your grandma today. I want to do it when this program's over. You listen to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal.
but now I'm no stranger.
Welcome back, Duke City. You listen to 2 Men On right here, 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Gilbert had a fun night last night. After I did this very program, of course, 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal, I went and did my friend Putney Thomas's blues show on KUNM. If you're not familiar with Putney Thomas, he's been doing the blues show for a long time, 30 years, I guess.
Wow.
Probably more. But I was honored to be on his program. He was on our program a couple weeks ago, and I got to sit next to the hyper-talented Levi Platero.
Okay.
You know, Desert Island, I had to pick a genre. It'd probably be hip-hop and R&B.
Sure.
But I am a blues fan. But more than being a blues fan, I am a Levi Platero fan. And getting to hear him play guitar and sing from like a foot and a half away, like I had chills for like 2 hours after it happened. Yeah.
Wow.
I had an absolute blast. Friend of the show, I highly recommend. I don't do this often with local artists. I really don't lean into it.
Sure.
But he is a shining star in New Mexico and surrounding areas. His star is on the rise, and you should check out the music that he does. There's not a lot of better guitarists in, dare I say, the world. Great singer, great songwriter, great performer. He'll be at the South Broadway Center next Thursday, and then right after that, he's heading up to do Red Rocks.
You don't lie. I'm looking right now on the
insanely talented dude. But yeah, it was a blast. So shout out to Putney Thomas of the Blues Show on KUNM, and shout out to Levi Platero, insanely talented blues musician right here from New Mexico. Also, indigenous.
Very cool.
Insanely talented guy. Here at Sadie's on 4th Street, Mr. Everything here at Sadie's, Gilbert Sanchez, joins the program. Well, I had a couple weeks off for March Madness, man. We've been missing Sadie's.
Yeah, we missed you guys. A lot has happened since March Madness is. I mean, we got baseball starting. We got you basketball coach. We don't have any players on the basketball team currently, but that's going to change. NBA is winding down. The Thunder may win. Would you tell me 69 games potentially?
If they win out, they can win 70 games and be in an upper echelon of some of the greatest teams in the history of the sport. Or they can lose one and finish with 69 wins, and I think that's way cooler.
They'll lose to the Lakers. They got back-to-back versus the Lakers. Also, by the way, Gilbert, I was telling Van, I was there last Thursday. I didn't get to see, though. It was so packed.
What?
But
you were here?
Around. Yes, I was there. It's maybe about 8 p.m. I asked our waitress, it says Gilbert here, and then she says he's very, very. She came back and said he's very, very busy, and he's on the other side. I said, okay, I won't bug him.
Well, she lied to you because I was in bed Thursday at 8:30 probably. So 2 problems.
She didn't know who Gilbert was. She's just like,
important enough.
Yeah, he's busy or something.
Everybody listening is like, wait, I thought you said he was Sadie's, and the server doesn't know who I am. So that's obviously a lie. I am just someone who is appointed, to come talk to you guys and tell you about shrimp cocktail that we don't have, but we do have ceviche. So
tilapia.
I'm losing the street cred here quickly. Say, what'd you eat? Did you have 2 tamales again?
No, I got chicken enchiladas.
Okay.
And I had some salsa on this side. Very, very good salsa.
Good.
Okay, so that was the first time I've had your enchiladas, had your tamales. I know. I'm about to say what you don't think I'm going to say, and it was the first time I had the salsa.
Are we the worst people of all time not giving? Because you've been here on the air with us a couple of times.
Yeah, I think I was just so hungry for the.
Okay, you skipped the appetizers.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, that's okay. All right, good. I felt bad there for a little bit, but I feel better now. So good.
Yeah.
What was the heat level on the salsa? Was it too hot for you?
And for it was not too hot, but I was not able just to run through it. But also, then again, hot Cheetos are too hot for me. So this doesn't mean that this Sadie salsa is like too hot for 99% of New Mexico to eat. Yeah,
we were in trouble from the get-go.
That's saying a lot because until like about a year ago, cinnamon gum used to be too hot for Fred. But he's finally turning a corner, and he can eat mild chili now. So wildly impressed. Only took 6 years.
It's a mental thing. Like I noticed when Whataburger that one time accidentally put the green chili on my cheeseburger, and I was eating it, and I was like, like I kind of feel like a wuss if I don't finish this burger because I got it and I'm hungry. I'm like, it is spicy, and I kind of start to play like a mind game. Like, all right, don't be a punk. Tough it out, finish it through. And I'm like, all right, this mind game works for everything spicy.
You didn't scrape it off? You ate the whole thing? You didn't?
No.
Typically.
Yeah, because I told them no green chili, but they put it on there. So I was two and a half bites in before I was like, it's definitely on here. I was like, I'll eat it. Why not?
All right, Gilbert, what would be your next suggestion for Zay? He had the tamales, had the enchiladas, which are my all-time favorite. I have a suggestion. I want to see if mine matches up with yours.
Okay.
What would yours be?
Mine would be only because I'm going off of, and it would be great. Like, we're definitely dancing tonight if this prediction is the same.
Yes.
I'm only going off of your experience of the green chili burger that you had. I think you need to have the green chili cheeseburger here at Sadie's. Now, many don't know that Sadie started as a almost a diner, as a truck stop on 2nd and Osuna, which is just right down the road. So originally Sadie's was doing burgers, steaks, the pork chops, that kind of stuff.
Really?
And the burgers, you can still come out. We're just on the other side. There's the original grill where millions of burgers were cooked on that thing back in the mid 50s.
Nice.
And so the burgers are no joke here. So probably I would rank it, and I know people have lots of burgers. It's one of the best burgers you'll ever have.
Pro tip, you might disagree with me, Gilbert. Yeah. Pro tip, get the Texas toast instead of the burger bun. The burgers here are better with the Texas toast.
That tracks for sure.
In my humble opinion.
I like it.
I was going to say stuffed sopapilla.
Oh, darn. Okay. All right.
Stuffed sopapilla is a legendary dish here.
I was staring it down. I won't lie. I was staring it down, and I was like, those enchiladas are really good, so I'll double back on them. But I was staring down that stuffed sopapilla. And I was like, I think I'll go with this. I can handle it. I feel like the breading would, help you out with the spice. So I was like, okay, I got a safety net.
Yeah, they're tough. That's a lot of food. I know you can eat, though, so you would probably finish one. I would say 70% of the customers that come in don't finish that stuffed sopapilla because it is just ginormous. You usually, they're cracking a fried egg on top of that bad boy the next morning. So it's breakfast the next day if you don't finish it.
You're talking to Zay, the guy who had 2 smothered tamale plates back to back.
That was stupid.
It was impressive, dude.
I was like, what is he doing?
Watch your back, Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, I thought it was
Zay's coming.
I almost sent you the plumber bill for that one.
Man. We're working our way up to a stuffed sopapilla here real quick.
Okay.
Zay Bayashi.
Yeah.
the machine. Right. All right, I swear we're talking sports when we come back. NBA talk. You listen to 2 Men On 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal.
This
2 Men On is live from Sadie's on 4th Street. 10 short minutes away of having a delicious, tasty margarita in my hand. Zay said, what did you have? You said watermelon or strawberry, Zay? You said one of them are to die for.
I had the watermelon. There was more to it, though. Gilbert, I'm sure you would.
I don't know. I think we have shrimp cocktail there. So
yeah, exactly. Was it the shrimp cocktail margarita?
If it hasn't been a menu item, if it hasn't been a menu item for like 25 years, I don't know about it.
Well, yeah, it was the watermelon was in there.
Okay,
it was in there.
Maybe there's a cucumber one. Maybe you can add cucumber if you'd like.
Yeah,
there's a watermelon
cucumber watermelon. That sounds incredible. That was my favorite Bath and Body Works lotion when I was in high school, and I wanted to cover up the weed smell.
There you go. Imagine
he
putting
goes,
tequila in that.
Oh yes,
and drinking that lotion.
Oh God, that'd be incredible.
That's what Zay did.
It just reminded me of my high school crush. So the reason I chose cucumber melon in high school because it had like the fruitiest scent. It didn't smell like a dude. You know what I mean? Like instead of like Dracar Noir or whatever a dorky teenager wears.
Sure.
I think I was wearing Cool Water at the time, actually.
Ooh.
Only because of Snoop Dogg, obviously.
Yeah. I got the Johnson's Baby Powder and Cool Water Cologne. That was you.
Yep. So, Cool Water Cologne, Cucumber Melon Lotion, Visine, obviously, and a couple squirts of Ozium in the car.
Wow, you were set.
Yeah. I had a...
That is the package. The gum?
That's the starter set, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Gum. As you start to become a little bit more experienced.
I was more of like a Now or Later guy. I'd have a roll of Now or Laters in my pocket. Not Now or Laters.
Now,
come on, brain. Little
Altoids?
little
Starburst kind of things. No.
Come on.
Now or Later? Wait, is there mint? Are they mint flavored?
This is killing me. My brain hurts so bad. They're not Now or Laters.
Those are the worst.
Not Rolos. The little circle hard candies look like a donut.
A sweet tart.
Lifesavers?
Spree.
Lifesavers. Good Lord.
Okay.
Hey, there's an example right now why you don't smoke weed when you're a teenager.
Holy
I forgot the name of Lifesavers.
Well, you took me on a roller coaster. Who threw out Rolos?
Could have been anything.
Did Van say Rolos?
Yeah.
Like
I was just thinking of like round words.
When you said Rolos, I'm like, okay, thinking chocolate.
Took you way on the other side. Yeah.
And then we get back to Lifesavers.
You're like Reese's Pieces.
Yep. Friend of the show, I promised you NBA talk, but I want to hit MLB real quick as my favorite team, the Houston Baseball Astros, and Gilbert Sanchez of Sadie's, his favorite team, is the Seattle Mariners. We are in the same division, and we are kind of rivals.
I would say so.
I think Mariner fan would definitely say
we have to win for it to become a rivalry, though.
Correct.
Say that. We have yet to win in the postseason against you guys.
You've nibbled around the edges of a rivalry.
Yes.
But I think this is the one where the Mariners and Astros are on an even playing field, and they're going to battle each other because the Mariners took a step up, Astros took a step down. So I think it's anyone's division this year.
That's very nice of you to step down to our level, and that's only because we didn't add a bat this offseason, and it's very frustrating when you're on the cusp. You have, correct me if I'm wrong, the Mariners have the best starting rotation in baseball, in my opinion.
If not the best, top three without argument.
It is up there, and we can't. Julio is batting 1-something. Cal Raleigh, who just signed he can buy
a lot of money,
30,000 ceviches here.
Yeah,
probably 1 million ceviches here at that point. He's batting under 200, and it's early. It's early. We're 7 games in, but I am panicking. I'm sweating. I don't want to watch another game for a couple months, probably.
Yeah, my beloved Houston Baseball Astros dipped way below 500 to start the season last year, and I was like, oh, it's it, run's over. And they're doing it again this year, and I'm like, oh. Now we're doing it without Alex Bregman and Kyle Tucker, 2 baseball players who've received MVP votes playing for other teams now. That one stings. You want to hang out for one more? You want to watch me drink a margarita, Gilbert?
Let's order one.
All right, I'm in. NBA talk when we get back. Pinky promise. You're listening to 2 Men On, live from Sadie's on 4th Street, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. 1 hour in the books, 2 hours to go here on Two Men On. You're listening to 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. Boys are live from Sadie's on 4th Street and having a lot of fun with it. Full program today, not preempted by Josh Sushan, voice of the Isotopes, as they had a day game today. Tough L for the boys. Big blowout on Tuesday. Didn't go the Isotopes' way. Big blowout yesterday. Did go the Isotopes' way. And then a close one today. An exciting, a nail-biter. Gilbert Sanchez, Mr. Everything here at Sadie's on 4th.
17 runs yesterday, right? What did they?
Wild.
Something
Yes.
crazy, yeah.
Josh Sushan exhausted every way to say a run was scored in his playbook.
Yeah, he usually does. He usually does. I actually have all those. That's also the cool thing about being here is like the day after the game, if there's like a super cool grand slam or something, we can just pull the audio right out the computer.
You know what I often catch myself doing, Zay, and it's kind of embarrassing? I'm an unironic finger gun guy. You say something funny, you say something clever. Pew, pew.
Yeah.
I hit you with it. I do it. Also, check this out. I just got one of your watermelon cucumber margarita.
Yep, that's 100% what it was.
It sounded so good when you described it. I had to get one myself.
Yeah, and you said you were a hip hop and R&B guy, so it all tracks.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, so I'm a big finger gun guy. Anyways, I go through phases. Fred Slow, co-host of this very program, Two Men On, joining us. He was out helping some children's for the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes,
welcome,
sir.
Fred.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me on the program. It was a big day over at the day job. Had a fun meeting, boys.
Ooh.
Supporting the kids of the Boys and Girls Club. But, of course, that conversation started off with walk-offs, and that's Shohei Ohtani in extra innings because that dude is the most unreal human being on earth.
Absolutely. Oh, so you go from Ellie De La Cruz yesterday to Shohei Ohtani today.
They're going to finish 1-2 in MVP, and I'll tell you in which order. A lot closer to the time.
Yeah.
A lot closer.
There is nothing wrong with getting second place in MVP voting to Shohei Ohtani, because that's what's going to happen. Whoever is second place in MVP voting, you should feel like the MVP, because there's only one Shohei Ohtani.
Who was second place to Jordan all those years? Ewing,
Bird, Barkley, Ewing,
Olajuwon,
Malone, maybe a couple.
Stockton. I think Stockton and Malone would eat each other's votes.
Not Stockton. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
not Stockton.
Oh, White Muggsy Bogues.
He ain't big.
So, Zay, the reason I mention I'm a big finger gun guy is because so is Ja Morant.
Oh,
and the guy who gets kicked out of the NBA for brandishing a firearm
Shouldn't have done that.
should not be doing the finger gun celebration on an NBA basketball court.
He didn't do that.
He did multiple times.
Someone did it first.
The NBA told him to pipe down.
Someone did it first, though, right? Didn't someone do on to others? Even if you get in trouble, I mean, someone punches me, I'm going to punch him back, even though they told me don't punch.
Yeah, but if someone pews you, or you got to pew
no. I mean, yeah.
Not if I got suspended from the NBA from pewing
There's
in
millions.
real life.
There's millions at stake here. I get it. You're right. Sorry.
Millions of what?
Lives and dollars.
Are they tariffing the NBA now? Like what? Like where is this money coming from?
I don't know. Good questions. That was a guess. I don't know what's at stake.
Now, was it index finger alone, Van, or was it index finger and middle finger?
Well, okay. So excellent question. From the reserves in the back of my brain, I can't picture it right now.
Index and middle.
Because
index and middle.
I only do index.
Yeah, index and middle is high caliber.
You put your wrist up. You put your wrist up against your rib cage. Index finger out. Thumb up. And give them a little wiggle. Pew, pew, pew.
See, that's when I thought you were trying to show people what your nipples look like.
No, I'll just show you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you ask nicely, I'll show you.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Good to know.
Hey, you remember elementary school pencil? The eraser at
Yes.
the end of
yes.
Sarge, yeah. The
The
eraser
number
at the end.
2, it's a good mix of
Way larger than number 2 pencil.
firmness.
Yeah, for sure.
Gotcha. Yes.
Yeah.
Remember the sharpeners?
Would not fit in the sharpener.
So John Morant's like off clear. He's good to go, or what's up?
Well, he got a warning from the NBA, the National Basketball Association, if you're not into acronyms.
Yeah.
And a ringing endorsement from the NRA,
Is that true?
the National Rifle Association.
That's not true.
No, of course it's not true.
Oh.
It's a joke Van just said out loud on a radio program.
No,
Yeah.
that organization is kind of a joke, so I didn't know if that was like
You don't know what to believe anymore these days, man. It's all serious.
It's all serious until you get in front of litigation, and then you can say I'm a dummy, and then everything's fine. Like that's what this is.
Wasn't he already warned? Why? What
Did they take a step back on the punishment here? Or
Yeah, there's another warning.
It's been 3 months since I did it. I thought it'd be okay now.
It says here the league ruled the celebration was not intended to be violent in nature, but it was inappropriate and they should refrain.
All right, quick respite from Ja Morant's recent idiocy. This margarita is incredible.
I know. And
It's
that,
got the sweetness of the watermelon, a little crisp bitterness of the
Mhm.
cucumber at the end.
I got two
My
of them,
goodness.
actually.
Ooh,
Violent in nature sounds like an 80s rap band.
Ooh,
Ooh, yeah.
be naughty, actually.
Violent in
I
nature.
am not even sure. That's my fault there.
VIN. Hello, Cleveland. We're VIN. Violent in nature. We're here to rock your socks off.
Does the
Just
NBA think this will put this to bed? Like, is that what their dumb ruling thinks will happen?
No, social media put it to bed because he's going to get slandered on there. It didn't like the NBA can, of course, they can actually come down with the hammer, but he's not going to get away with it because everyone, of course, there's the NBA cameras, but I mean, it becomes a huge deal in social media as soon as he does anything, and then they have to say something about it.
You gotta know. Full extended arm, elbow out, straight out, index and middle finger, thumb up in the air, point at somebody. That's assault in real life. A citizen does it to a citizen. That's assault.
Do you remember
you can't feign using a weapon at a stranger in public. That's assault.
The first time I ever saw it was in the movie Training Day when Ethan Hawke accidentally does PCP, and then everything's slow motion, and like the guys driving by are doing the finger guns at him. And as a child, I remember thinking that's not playful.
No,
that's what this is. But then the NBA does an investigation, and is the investigation like this? Is the investigation all right? For the sake of this investigation, all right, you Van, you will be Ja Morant. Gil, you will be Buddy Hield. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ring, 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 ring.
Hello, this is Ja Morant.
Yes. Ring, ring.
This is Buddy.
Hey guys, got you three-way here. It's the NBA. Just reaching out. Just want to make sure we're on the same page here. Good luck in the playoffs, boys. Click. Like that had to be the whole investigation. What else would it be?
Have you ever shot craps before?
I don't do finger guns after I do, but I think I might be following you wherever you're going.
You know, shot craps, roll the dice. Are you familiar with that movement, Gilbert?
Yeah.
Yep.
So what you need to do to each other is you do the dice roll, but you do it backwards. You know what I'm saying, Gilbert?
Whoa, not in front of the
you do that one.
Not when you're sitting in front
that
of me.
one's completely fine. That one's friendly,
Okay.
especially in June. That's a good celebration.
Is the Shooter McGavin one 2 full fingers?
Just a cool. I think that's one.
I think it's one, but
I
the
think it's
index
one.
finger is also
Oh, because he's got the middle finger on the trigger.
the mid.
How does that work?
All right, so it's like if your pinky,
Excuse me, trigger
your ringy, your middle are like stairs
in ascending
I see
order.
in ascending order,
Okay.
and then your top one, because I feel he not only was he the point and shoot, but only at the hole. Also, he may have done it at Adam Sandler. I don't remember, but I also believe he was the guy. Like he would bring it up to his mouth and to blow the smoke from the muzzle away, like it was a black powdered rifle.
That is a comedy movie about golf. If you're going to get away with it, that's the time. If you're amongst friends and it's a joke, go bonkers.
Like blowing out a candle that your family member just lit in a room, knowing you don't like the smell of that candle.
What else could he do that would be cool? Maybe that's just that. I mean, it's a cool thing. What
Okay,
else?
That's
is
a
cool?
good one. Yeah,
What
that's
else
a-
is
gang
cool?
signs?
I like
gang signs.
Could he eat chips and salsa? Maybe like
I'm a fan of the new Dodgers
what could he
one.
do? What are
And
they
it's
doing?
super close to the
When they sheathe the sword.
it's super close to the reverse dice roll. You know that one, Gilbert.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm doing it at you
Yep.
Yeah.
right now, and I'm not breaking eye
I'm
contact
looking straight at
at
you,
all.
too, 'cause I don't want to look anywhere else.
What they do is what you get your right arm, you hold it at 90 degrees, and then you put your left hand over your bicep, and then you pull your right arm up to your shoulder, and then you let your right arm flop down to your thigh.
That's allowed?
For now, it is. Yeah. So I think that one's better than the finger guns.
What
for
a
sure.
visual that was.
That one I do
Getting
on
a bunch of good ones here.
that one I do when I'm bellied up to the bar.
Mhm.
I do that at the bar.
Really?
Yeah, just
Lucky
like
guy.
if someone like when I get up to like use the restroom, and I'm like, am I worried someone's gonna take my seat? Before I do that, I do what Van described to let them know that this is.
Well, you're tall enough to do that. I feel like you have to be taller to pull that one
I
off.
thought they were doing the sheathe the sword thing. Am I making this up? Is that not a thing that they do?
I think they do. Obviously, the I don't think it's named yet, but we could call it hanging dong. Maybe that's a good name for it. I know they do the little hip to the side, the hands up of shoulders, and then hip to the side kind of
look
thing.
at you go.
Little
That was
tilty
good.
boy.
You got
was
that
cute.
going. Yeah.
I told you I could dance. You'll see me
Holy
dance
moly,
later.
man. Yeah.
You'll see me dance later to CJ and Black Horse
That's
country
right.
music at its finest, right here on the patio.
Is that
at
tonight?
Sadie's
At
on
6?
Fourth.
Is that at
Yeah.
6?
The second we're done here, dancing.
I think baseball is the best ones. Like anytime a dude hits a double and they do like the claw hands over their head or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the claw hands is a good one. Now I'm so cliche and classic in the world of taunting that I would tell you that John Cena's "You Can't See Me" hand
Okay,
is the best one.
Just do that.
it's a classic.
Putting the hand in front of your face, 5 fingers wide, and you don't even have to say "You can't see me."
Mm-mm.
You just do the motion.
You know.
You don't have to say it anymore. John Cena definitely used to have to say it at the beginning
Say it. Yeah. But it's easy now.
because
You just do
now
that.
they're just like, what does this mean? What do you
You got something
like
on
in the
your
mid
face.
2000s? Like, what
Yeah,
do you
you didn't know.
you like to see things move in between your fingers? I don't understand
just
why
wiping
are you
stuff
doing
off.
that?
What you could do is you could do the John Cena "You Can't See Me" motion,
Mhm.
but instead of saying "You can't see me," you could just say "I'm gonna say it," and then they think you're gonna say "You can't see
Don't
me."
say it.
Yeah,
Not on this program.
yeah, that's what you could do.
Not when Zay's producing.
What about is Hang 10 a good one, or is that not cool anymore?
I've seen that. I think I've seen that off of like a.
Cyclical.
That's like
Yeah.
a single. That's a single. You don't do
I
that
do.
after a double.
I do it knuckle forward though.
Knuckle forward, I believe, is that different in sign language?
Great
What?
question.
Now, what's
Which
the
is it?
one from the Breakfast Club?
I think you're doing.
Mets with the bull, get the horns.
I think you're doing rolling with the homies from the hit high school movie Clueless. I think that's what
I
you're
am doing rolling with the
You're
homies.
doing rolling with the homies
Where you
right now.
put where you put your middle finger and your ring finger, tuck them in with your thumb, then take your index finger and your pinky finger, protrude them forward like a 2-pronged fork, and then you roll it. And I'm not joshing you.
Really?
You're
Looks
not,
like the
you're
devil.
not jawing.
I'm not jawing you.
Some may be offended that is the devil. What about that? Yeah. Is it,
All right, so the two sweets
The two
from pro
sweet-
wrestling,
oh,
which is also everyone's a Lobo,
Yeah.
woof, woof, woof,
Same
hand gesture.
same form.
that's right.
That one I feel goes.
You just do what the wrestlers do.
Well, you see, it's the wrestlers have it down.
Yeah. Your scissoring, which you've co-opted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scissoring's a good one.
Oh, well, that go over, but sure. Better than the gun.
You know what's better than the gun, but has the exact same thing? The drawing the imaginary bow.
Ooh.
Yes.
If you draw the imaginary bow on a guy like Robin Hood or Annie Oakley, but with a bow, like that works. I can't name anyone else with a bow. Legolas.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Wait,
Hunger
It's-
Games.
It's
Hunger
less.
Games, yeah.
It's deadly at close range, and it's not as insensitive as shooting a gun at somebody.
Still a weapon.
Because I haven't heard of a lot of mall bowing and arrowings. I haven't heard a lot of school bow and arrowings.
No,
Not as incendiary.
Not recently.
ever.
There was years when you couldn't carry a crossbow. Coward's weapon.
There were years where you could.
And yeah, before that, before
when were public crossbows outlawed? I think the beginning of time is when it started.
What is the one where you take your index finger and you put it on your temple? Not a salute, but on the side of your face, like you're smarter.
Like you're concentrating.
Like I'm always thinking.
Ooh.
Think about
That's a good one. That one is a what did Mr. Miyagi used to do, right? To Karate Kid, he would take his two fingers and put them in front of his nose.
Okay.
And he'd be like, Danielson. Like that's a good one.
Focus.
Danielson.
I think the dumbest one, especially in the NBA, is after you shoot a shot or you dunk on somebody, you lean over and you lean down and do the too small. You hold your hand horizontal and you lean down and do the too small. The other guy's 6'8". He is not too small.
He's not too small.
He is an appropriate size to play in the NBA. It makes no sense doing that one.
Dikembe Mutombo used to do this thing.
Ooh, yeah.
Can't do it anymore.
Where he would wag his you can't wag your finger?
He's the only one.
You can do a gun, but you can't wag the finger?
No.
Oh, it's like the Lambo leap?
No, he's retired it. No one can Mutombo anymore.
Well,
that is just Mutombo.
He also passed away, I think.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah.
I know. Okay. You know when you take one of your hands and make your you creep over your fingers like you're holding a beer, but you open your thumb up like it's the bottom of a heart.
Okay.
And then you mirror that and create a heart in front of you. Now that's nice for yourself. Now hear me out. Let's say you're on the same team with Gil. Mm-hmm. If I do one half of the heart and he does the other half with his hands and you connect them like in a best friend amulet.
Are we still going? You're still there. I pulled the wave right away.
It's going to make his uncle really uncomfortable at a barbecue.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sponsorship opportunities are at an all-time high for this, and I don't think the players are thinking about
They're not figuring it out.
No, nobody's paying you to do the gun. Get someone to pay you for doing a heart. Get the WWE to pay you to do the.
You call Gerber, okay?
Yep.
You hit a big shot. You call Gerber, and then what do? You rock the baby.
Yep. Rocking the baby's solid.
Rocking the baby.
That one's solid.
No one, because Gerber's got you on that. That's when you put your two forearms together in front of your belly button and you rock it.
I think we could potentially do a spend here at Sadie's if you eat the chips and salsa after a double.
That's a good one. Eating chips and salsa is a good one.
Incredible.
Yeah.
We could potentially fund something like that.
Hey, or bring back the Pedro Serrano home run trot, please.
Okay, this is a good one.
It's an excellent one.
Can't sponsor
it's
that
legendary.
No.
No, Sadie's would not be behind that one.
No.
But maybe you do it, on behalf of maybe.
Well, you have huevos, don't you?
You do it.
Could be a huevos rancheros special.
Yeah, huevos.
Yeah, it's awareness.
I'd rather him crack eggs.
Yeah.
Than do what he does.
Well, no, you do it on behalf of awareness for testicular cancer.
That's a good one.
You drop a bomb, you start walking, you look at your boys in the dugout.
Yeah.
And start, I guess you could call it orangutan in it, maybe.
It's like a bowling.
Yeah.
Cleaning the bowling ball type.
Cleaning the bowling ball.
Yeah. Since we started, we were in a bowling alley for a long while. That makes sense.
It's 2025, right? Like it's 2025?
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Like, can we do anything without politics? The answer is no.
Okay.
That's obviously the answer.
That's tough.
It's tough, but it.
So you do the Trump dance.
Oh.
Hit a big shot.
Well, see that historically,
yeah,
amongst me and my younger friends meant something wildly different.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's much like the reverse dice roll. I was doing the Gilbert earlier.
Like I have two more. I know we have to go break.
I see that. To yourself. Yeah, to yourself.
You're right. You're right.
The last two, I promise we'll go to break after this.
Okay.
We already went through rocking the baby.
Correct. That's a good one.
Yep.
Now, hear me out. The sucking the thumb.
Hard pass.
Hard pass
Yeah,
on that.
hard pass. Miss me with that
Now
one.
you didn't let me shine it up at the end.
Okay.
At the end, pop the lip.
Okay.
Pop the lip.
I'm back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back
Suck
in.
the thumb, pop the lip.
Okay.
And then last one, before we go to break, peekaboo.
I like peekaboo more.
You're into a lot of these baby ones.
I think they're easily recognizable.
A baseball player or any sport.
Yeah.
But usually we're talking about baseball players doing celebrations, like a new young father who's doing all these for the first time, and he's sharing them with his teammates.
Yeah.
The look on the face when you open has got to be really good, though.
Yeah, you have to have a good peekaboo face.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Or maybe you put something on and then reveal.
Ooh.
Like some glasses, some teeth, some
That's
blood,
a good
some
one.
makeup, something like
Love
that.
this.
Now, have you guys also seen the one where you make two fists, like you're going to fist fight someone, but instead of fist fighting, you put them to your temples and dry your eyes? Like that, to me, you do a little rotation under the eyelids, dry the eyes. That, to me, is also – all of these would have been better than finger guns.
Well, no, not finger guns. Finger guns are incredible. Wrist tight to the chest, tight to the rib cage, only one finger out, cute little wiggle. Fine. Everyone's happy. Full extension, you reach the elbow all the way out, index and middle finger, thumb up. It's too much.
Now, what if you
Too
just
much.
tease it? What if you unholster the double finger gun and you act like you're going to – you use your good arm like Dr. Strangelove to keep the
it
other arm
Keep it in. Keep it in.
fighting, pulling out the double finger gun from the holster.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you pull what I call the oops-a-daisy, and you just check your pulse on your wrist or elbow. And you had me in the first half.
That's the ice in the veins.
Ice in the
also
veins.
Also strong.
Yeah.
A little overused, but strong.
Depends how you tilt the fingers checking the vein.
Yeah.
Because if you rotate, you're done.
If you do finger guns, but you don't have the thumb up, like if you put the thumb sideways, like you're not aiming, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
What about reholstering? You made the shot, holster the weapons.
So because
Put them away.
I'm a Back to the Future 3 fan, so I think that's fine.
Put them away. That's what they want. Put them away.
Yeah.
That's the message.
Alec Baldwin, you listening?
Are you leading the show now, or am I?
Thanks for hanging out with us, Gilbert Sanchez, Mr. Everything at Sadie's.
It's trash night. The wife is.
You spent an hour with us. That's a new PR.
That's a record.
Yeah.
When we get back from the break, more from Sadie's. It's 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
This message is brought to you by The Law Giant.
Alex Begum, the Law Giant, has been named
Two men on. Welcome back to Sadie's on Fourth. Thanks for covering for me today, Van. I was running a little late. I think I don't talk about this a ton on the show. You know, I have the day job. I have an official job title, but the short of it is I run development for the Boys and Girls Club of Central New Mexico. Had a big day today. Had a bunch of officials out from city of Rio Rancho visiting Grant Middle School, where we have a really good after-school program.
I know a few of them. They're lovely people.
Yeah, it was it's just so great to have like a product you're proud of that, number one, helps a lot of people, and number two, you can expose to other individuals in the community that want to help people. So big thank you to they for taking the time. Big thank you to you for covering while I was away. So awesome.
You are more than welcome. Anytime I get to hang out at Sadie's, and especially anytime I get to hang out at Sadie's with Gilbert,
yeah,
sign me up.
That's the best one. We're sneaking up on the weekend, which is, of course, the Final Four. That'll be a lot of fun. Monday night, we're going to be over at Howie's for the national championship. Isaiah, are we bumped for the national championship, or do we have part of a program? Like, what's the scheduling on Monday? Do we need to expect to be on air? What's the deal?
I'll figure that out for you.
Good looking out. So Isaiah's doing a little bit of homework. Anthony Edwards paid $1 million up front, so he doesn't have to pay child support.
It's first off, for a derelict father, genius. If you know you're going to be a pile of garbage and not take care of your responsibilities, genius.
Works out to be roughly $5,000 a month for 18 years. $1 million today is not worth what it's going to be worth in 18 years.
Correct. Yeah. Super smart.
You see those kids pissing in each other's in the water jugs? Did you guys hear about that story? You didn't hear about it.
Is it Anthony Edwards related?
No, it's here in town. The two baseball teams.
I have not, but let's actually table that until I can look into it a little bit.
I don't have that data.
I don't know enough at all to talk about that.
Well, one of the parents of the dads of the kids called in, and I spoke with them earlier. So once you guys learn about it,
let's
definitely
let me get some info on this before.
Yeah, I thought you'd hear about it, Van, for sure.
Busy day.
Yeah. Well, and to be real transparent, if there's something there, let me find it from like an official source.
Correct.
Yeah,
like not the parent of the kid that was on the team.
100%. Yeah.
Not them. Not News Radio KKOB.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Get a little bit more official news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not, but I struggle with. Yeah. But I will look into that. I don't know enough about that. I don't like when escalation comes specifically to like amateur athletics. Like that's oh gosh, this stuff's wild to me. This Anthony Edwards thing was wild to me. I saw it coming into the show, or I guess I heard about it, where it was the option was, and it was, hey, you could pay the $5,000 or whatever for the 18 years, and he's like, well, I got it all up front. Like, can I just pay it? Like in this, but I mean, he's up to like a pretty significant situation as far as children that he doesn't have a ton of interest in.
Yeah. He's creeping up on Tyreek Hill.
And I don't know what you do with that money. Like because more than likely this individual has not had access to that amount of money. Like, how do you assure that it goes to like a kid's care? Because obviously he's a baby. They can't do that themselves. And I don't know the legalese, but I don't like the precedent. And I know that's where you were going with it too, to where I don't know how safe this thing is. And I do believe, as public as all these things are, there's going to become an entity, like a legal entity, that's going to look for these individuals to maximize those immediate payouts, treat it like an annuity.
Yeah.
Grab a %.
Sure.
And with the way today's stock market is, what was it down today? 1,200 points or something?
4%, about $2 trillion on just the Dow.
Just wild.
Yeah.
Just a wild time.
It's a lot. That is a lot.
There's your Edwards update. When we get back from the break, we continue from Sadie's on 4th. 2 men on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
This report is
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Minute On, live from Mercedes on 4th. Live music tonight on the patio. That's going to be a lot of fun. You said we have a caller, Isaiah?
Yes, Robert.
Friend of the show, Robert, joining us. Robert, welcome.
Afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, I don't really like Morant either. It seems like he's always, ever since he joined the league, he's always creating some kind of issue.
He's weird.
He's really having a negative impact on the NBA. I don't think I'd want him as a teammate or even as the owner of the club. I would try to get rid of him. And also, I hear there's a new bat that the Major League Baseball players are using. It's supposed to be like a more powerful. Have you heard anything about that bat? Do you know anything about it?
That's a great question, Robert. Thank you for the call. The torpedo bat is what he's talking about, Van.
Correct.
And I do think it's a marketing play. I do think it's been incredibly hyped to a way to create interest, sales, whatever definition, because all of a sudden every company has one. There was only 2 of them on Earth.
Right.
And now Louisville and Rawlings and Mizuno or whatever, they all have one now, which they already had. This to me seems like collaboration. Like this to me seems like it's because also
if it is, it is legit genius.
Yeah,
because it is working. Everyone in the baseball world at all levels wants to get their hands on these bats. A professor of physics at University of Michigan went to school at MIT. His name is Aaron Lehnhart. He worked for the Yankees at the time.
Seems legit.
It didn't catch a lot of traction last year, but that home run streak that Giancarlo Stanton went on in the playoffs, hitting 7 home runs in 14 games, was with one of these bowling pin bats. They were called bowling pin bats last year. Now the name torpedo bat has been adopted. And Robert, all it really does is it collapses the end of the bat. They shave some weight off the very end of the bat and make the barrel a tiny bit lower on the bat than what it was previously.
Think of where the label is.
The theory is players who are hitting a little bit closer to the handle of the sweet spot. The sweet spot is closer to the handle now. That's kind of all it is.
There's an old video of Pete Rose talking hitting with Alex Rodriguez from the MLB Network. And I'm just going to give you the quickest synopsis of it.
Sure.
But he says, I never changed anything about my swing. I only changed where I was in the box.
Sure.
So he says, if I'm not getting into anything on the inside, I step back in the box. He says, if I'm not reaching stuff on the outside of the plate, I scoot up in the box. He said, if I'm a little bit slow getting around to the fastball, I step back in the box.
Yeah.
If I feel like I'm a little bit fast, I step forward in the box. Whatever. Or strike that, reverse it. But you get the idea. This one is a visible one. Every year there's an innovation.
Yeah.
Like if you ask a player right now about hit tracks, like everyone's adopted it. If you ask them about iPad awareness, if you ask them about sliding gloves, if you ask them about what's the thing on the knob called? The reader on the knob, they all have it now. The evolution of baseball equipment, including necessary safety gear like the over the chin face mask, the Barry Bonds elbow deal, the shin guard. I mean, we can run the list.
Sure.
Spider tack. We can run the list. 2 in the pinky. We can run the list of like innovations that have come in the game of baseball. This is, and it's going to be lost to the history. This is one of them.
I mostly agree. There needs to be way more data behind it because the bat is just a baseball bat. Like Pete Rose said, you alluded to, if you're not hitting on the barrel, you're taking it off the handle too much.
Yeah.
You can move back in the box half an inch. It's not going to change your swing. It's not going to change your results that dramatically because you mentioned a lot of trends. Like, a couple of years ago, Paul Goldschmidt had that giant knob on the bottom of his bat.
Yeah.
2 years ago, it was axe handle bats. And, And
Ellie De La Cruz got the sensor on his.
Yeah, when I was playing baseball as a teenager, it was the thumb pads. Do you remember the over the thumb pads? Some people still use the thumb pads. It helps you roll your wrist over. Blah blah blah. But it's the player. It's the player, not the bat. If you're not corking your bat, if you're not using some kind of illegal material, it's the player, not the bat. Moving your barrel down an inch and a half is just going to weaken the end of the bat.
Well, and
pitchers will adjust. Everyone who switches from a classic barrel bat to a torpedo bat, the pitchers are going to see you sitting there with a torpedo bat and pitch you further inside or further outside, depending on what the friggin' iPad tells them in the dugout.
Well, and I'll say this too about new equipment. When it's made popular quick, it's from good players.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it takes good players to do this.
Sure.
I know, like, right now, and it was a thing years ago, and it just never caught on because it wasn't one of the brands that pays players to wear stuff. It wasn't Nike. It wasn't Louisville. It wasn't Rawlings. But Cutter did a long wrist batting glove for years, and no one ever wore it.
Yeah.
Now Bruce Bolt's doing a long wrist batting glove, and players are wearing it all day. And that's not the style. Like, for you and I, maybe players didn't wear gloves for years. Synthetic gloves didn't come into style until 20-ish years ago.
Right.
They were all leather up until then. You know, there's just so many innovations to the game, including like cleats that have like rotating pegs and include like it's not that hats have longer bills than they used to have.
Right.
Howard's on the line.
Friend of the show, Howard, joining us. He's about to tell us about his childhood glove and how it fell apart after he left it in the garage. Howard, welcome.
Well, my apologies, gentlemen. I've actually got my big boy pants on today. I'm speaking like a grown-up.
Okay.
The Anthony Edward thing's really bothers me because, did he lowball this girl or what, $1 million?
Yeah.
Come on, guys. I feel like there should have been a set amount for up to 18 years and then maybe $1 million in a trust fund.
I don't know enough about the legalese, but I do believe a lowball effort was accepted, and I do believe there are going to be entities created from this exact case that are going to combat that moving forward. Also, statistically, he could be broke in a couple of years.
Yeah, Howard, what it really is because he doesn't have like that fat like payroll that it may seem like he does. So when they take the percentage of how much he's making and then do the math and extend it, it's not in the millions and millions like it would be for maybe one of these veteran guys was in the situation.
Yeah, well, I just think that what if some sort of bad childhood disease befalls this child or something like that that's creating medical bills?
Yep.
Maybe they could have thrown health insurance in there too, as well as the money. I felt like there's so much more that should have been done here, especially as a father who paid child support for 3 children for years and fulfilled my duties. So, that's my opinion.
Well, I just looked
Usually
it up.
go ahead. Howard, it sounds like you have some experience with this, as do I. Usually there's an arbitrator of this case who is overseeing it. It wasn't just like, hey, I'm going to bring over a briefcase. You're going to say thank you and it's over. Usually there's a legal entity, depending on what state you're in, what county you're in, what city you're in, etc., that is overseeing this and saying that it's okay. While I don't agree with it, while you don't agree with it, somebody signed off on this beyond the kid's
So
mother.
I just did the math, boys. So John Morant makes $36,733,000 on his contract, right? The state of Wisconsin's child support for one child is 17%. So you move that by 17, that's going to give you roughly $6 million. You divide that by 18 years, you divide that by 12 months, that's roughly $28,000 a month. This is roughly $5,000 a month.
It just sits wrong. I just feel like, and I don't know, who am I to judge? Maybe the young lady needed the money really bad to put a roof over her child's head or something of that. But I just look at my 3 children and the 4 beautiful grandchildren they give me, and I'm like, man, I just don't get it. But thanks for taking my call, guys.
Yes, sir.
Agree. Yeah, it's harder for me to deal with for, just abandoning your child. Like that's what's egregious to me, not the financial implications of the agreement. That sucks too. But you multiply $5,000 times 12 months a year times 18 years. This is the number you get.
Oh, my number.
And they agreed to it.
Hey, I screwed up. My number's low. So I accidentally Googled, because we were just talking about him, John Morant's salary. Anthony Edwards is actually a little bit higher. So it's probably closer to $30,000 a month. That's my brain was moving too fast, so I apologize.
But the agreement was $5,000 a month in child support, and then he just paid off the whole thing.
That's my understanding.
Paid out the whole tab.
And also, because my head was not in it for 2 seconds, it's Minnesota, not Wisconsin. So I'm giving you a ballpark. That was not my best radio math, but you understand. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any kids, so I don't know what it takes. You know, it takes more than money. That I do know.
Yeah, I mean, I hope somebody's overseeing it. I hope it goes to this kid's future. I hope they have a great childhood and a great life. But if it's just some big lump sum that's put in baby mama's name, she can do anything she wants with it. Hopefully there's some very concrete rules that it has to go to the kid. But yeah, I mean, as far as sound financial decisions go, the $5,000 a month would be going up 1.5% a year because of standard of living and inflation, et cetera, After 18 years, that $5,000 a month is going to be $15,000 a month. So he bought his way out of it, flat rate right now. Do you think he did the same thing with his house? Think he did the same thing with his car? He did it with his kid. Pretty smart.
When you're going to end up in one where it's going to be like, and I'm going to use the word opportunistic, and I think depending on what perspective, right, you can use the word predatory.
I would say predatory.
But
yeah,
like a Gloria Allred type is going to jump in. Not her, but a type.
Yeah.
And is going to say, I'm now the preeminent expert in, and then you're going to find individuals who target these people.
I'm assuming they're already on it.
I assume that too.
Sure.
We're stepping away so we can come back. We're live at Sadie's on 4th. Live music starts on the patio in 10 minutes. Is that right, man?
Yeah.
We're going out there afterwards. It's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
At AM 610, the sports animal.
Welcome back to Two Men On. We're live at Sadie's on 4th. It's fun going into the 6 o'clock hour during the summer. There's more than a couple day games for the Ice Tips this year, though.
I had some choring to do today, and it was a huge bummer that I missed the first day game of the Ice Topes baseball season. I felt it deep.
I listened on the radio. I listened to Sushan. It was nice. I got a fun baseball fact for you. Okay, you ready?
Excellent. I'm in.
Luis Castillo is going to start 2 straight games for the Seattle Mariners.
I'm sorry, what?
Luis Castillo is going to start 2 straight games for the Seattle Mariners. Luis Castillo started last night, and Luis Castillo will start tonight.
Is he using a torpedo ball? How does this work?
Luis M. Castillo started for the Mariners last night. And Luis F. Castillo will start tomorrow as he's been called up from the minors.
Congratulations, F. Castillo.
They should do the Spider-Man meme.
The noun, not the verb.
Where they would just point at each other, but not like the way
That would
John
be
Morant.
incredible. Yeah. Index finger only, please.
Now, also, I've had 2 drinks, so I'm actually seeing 4 Luis Castillos. So I'm very confused.
Oh, my goodness. So many. You get a Castillo. You get a Castillo.
There's a bunch of those weird ones. Like games where Will Smith has started pitching and Will Smith is catching.
Mm-hmm.
You go, this is...
What is it on Sports Center years ago? Name that Molina.
Oh, yeah.
Do you actually know which Molina is a catcher for which baseball team?
Which of the flying
Molinas? There's all of them.
It was Yachty, Benji, and Jose.
Wasn't there 6 or 7 more?
Yeah, Jorge.
It's Jorge. There was Julio. There's Fernando.
This is getting out of hand. Now there's 2 of them. It's a Star Wars reference done poorly.
I'm glad you explained that because I was wondering logistically how that works out.
Luis F. Castillo has been pitching in the minors since 2012. He has pitched just 3.2 innings of Major League Baseball in that time for the Tigers in 2022. I'm a fan of his dedication.
Worth the wait.
Yeah. Also, everyone knows this, but there can be only one Luis Castillo.
Oh, no. The Highlander rules apply?
That is correct.
Uh-oh.
So how sweet it would be if he makes his debut, throws not just a no-hitter, but a perfect game in his debut. And then the history books, when people look back for years, they say that Luis Castillo threw a perfect game. They accredit Luis Castillo, but it wasn't Luis Castillo at all. It was Luis Castillo the whole time.
Correct. Yeah. Every bar and restaurant he goes into for the rest of his life. Hey, Luis Castillo, let me buy you a steak, brother, for that perfect game. He's like, you was the other Luis Castillo. I'm assuming he has an accent.
I also am assuming he has an accent.
There's a 50-50 shot.
Look up Luis Castillo right now. I feel like there's a position player, too.
First off, the Luis Castillo that I'm familiar with, excellent baseball player.
Yeah.
The Luis Castillo that I'm not familiar with, TBD.
What is TBD?
To be determined.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was some sort of designated batter thing, but done backwards.
I remember the Luis Castillo from the Marlins.
That's who I...
Is that who you remember?
That's who I remember, too.
Also,
the second baseman for the Marlins.
I bet there's a third one.
And remember he had that thing against the Mets where he dropped the ball and then Juan Pierre? That's all I remember of him, which is very limited. And they both stole a bunch. Him and Juan Pierre were both stealing bases nonstop.
So there's a lot of Luis Castillos in the Dominican Republic.
Now, I believe it's Dominican for Louis.
Lewis?
I was close.
You were close. There was a Luis Castillo, Dominican-born American NFL defensive end, a year younger than me. Second baseman, the aforementioned Luis Castillo, and the two Luis Castillos currently. Can't find a lot more. Ecuadorian boxer, Luis Castillo.
You got a pitcher on this team?
Luis Castillo, the musician, the keyboard player, and backup vocalist for the hit American rock and roll band
Santana.
POD.
Oh.
First day of the rest of my life.
Luis Castillo, also Argentinian footballer.
Yeah, probably president,
the
too.
one that actually used their feet, that kind of football.
There's an Abbott and Costello bit here that could be built really easily.
You're getting a little loose with your Luises here, man. You sure you got the right one?
The time of tomorrow, are you going to tell me who's pitching? Also, what if it's not like his legal name? What if it's like his legal name, like he's got a different first name?
He was the biggest fan of Luis Castillo.
But the one from the Marlins.
Blues musicians do that all the time. They'll take the name of an older blues musician, even though it's not their name.
Is that real?
It's very real.
I had an old co-host he was from the 90s radio, and his radio name was Joe De Niro, but his name was not De Niro. But no one knew him otherwise because he took it from the obviously made a famed De Niro name of film from 80s and 90s.
Right.
Because he liked De Niro.
As you know, I changed my Apple profile name and Apple profile picture to a cholo named Chi-Chi Salta La Macchia.
That is correct.
And so I think I'm rounding the corner.
From Blood In, Blood Out.
Close, but no. It's a great guess. I'm super surprised you knew what that was.
I posted Comic-Cons.
I'm getting a couple Chi-Chis here and there. and I'm going to be honest, I'm into it.
When iPhone asked me to update your contact from Van Nunley and a picture of you and I at a fundraiser for the YMCA to a picture of Chi-Chi Salta La Macchia
doing the Slav squat.
The Slav squat. I said, yes.
Yes, please. So now my Droid friends don't know this, but all of my iPhone friends, it's a really cool sepia-toned picture of a cholo every time I call them now. So you are welcome.
Wanted to give a couple minutes to Shohei Ohtani.
As one should.
Hits a walk-off last night against the Braves. They stay terrible. They gave their absolute best, like their absolute best. Got beat in extra innings against Ohtani. And this Dodgers team is in such a role that after he hits the walk-off is coming around third because he has this new perfume commercial. Have you seen this? He has a new cologne commercial, Ohtani, because he's the most marketable guy in the world.
Yes.
Do you remember when Tom Brady had that very lame Uggs thing?
Millions and millions of dollars of lameness.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has the exact same thing with like L'Oreal or something.
Okay.
Where it's like you can't see him without the makeup, and it's this thing like across. So anyway, so is he
maybe he's born with it.
Yes, 100%. And then all of his teammates do it as he's crossing home plate, and he does the thing. That's so much better.
It's very funny.
He knew because what happened was in the dugout. What happened? And he said to them, he said, "Hey, I'm about to walk this game off." And
they all knew it.
They all knew it. And I don't know who was pitching, number 60-something, right? Like some guy that was going to get returned to cinder from whatever he put over the plate. And they were so confident. Also, if the sponsor put him up to it, like Mr. Moneybags.
Incredible.
Incredible.
Oh, my God. I didn't think about that angle. It's like, we're going to give you millions and millions of dollars to pitch this product. But, Shohei, hear me out. Also, You do it on the field, the first walk-off you hit of the year.
First of many.
Didn't take long. 7 games in.
Yeah. Also, how cool it would be if you can get Mookie Betts to throw Gatorade in your face so it's like a classic. He's like, yeah, deal.
Mm-hmm.
God. And it's the type of arrogance I like. The arrogance it takes to say, I'm going to end the game right here. This is like, you remember when Matt Hasselbeck was like, we want the ball, we're going to score. And then Al Harris really humbled him.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yes.
That's one of the greatest moments of my childhood fandom.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what this was, except Ohtani was Matt Hasselbeck. But the good
did
version.
what he said.
Yes.
He did what he said. Here's the problem with that moment. Bottom of the 9th in Dodger Stadium.
No, this is the 10th.
1 out. Was it 10th?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excuse me. Bottom of the 10th. Dodgers. No, it was the 9th. It was the 9th.
Okay, go ahead.
It was 10th a couple games ago where they walked off the Braves in a different fashion.
Yep.
So 1 out, bottom of the 9th. Bases are empty. No one's on the base paths. You could easily walk Shohei Ohtani. And, hey, casual?
Yep.
You're probably asking that exact same question. Why would you pitch to Shohei Ohtani
in the bottom of the 9th?
In the bottom of the 9th in that situation. Because he's just going to hit a home run, walk it off, be a hero.
Yeah, crack a dinger.
And have a real-life commercial for whatever product he's pitching.
And improve his team to 8-0.
And let me tell you why. You have to pitch to him. Because if you walk Shohei Ohtani, you might forget that he had 59 stolen bases last year. He's just going to steal second and be on second base before you blink. And then somebody else, some other former MVP in the Dodgers lineup, all they have to do is hit a CNI single past the second baseman, and Shohei's going to score every time. So either you walk him and he's immediately on second, or you take a chance and he hits a walk-off dinger. It's a lose-lose situation.
It's lose-lose. See, Blake Snell got his house broken into.
Another one?
Yep.
These guys need better security.
Yep.
You never heard of a Ring camera?
It's not his LA house. It's his Seattle house, but you get the point.
Right.
Like, it's like I'm going to use the word epidemic, but that's not the correct word.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's an epidemic in the NFL last year. Now it's spilling over to the Major League Baseball regular season. And it's so much easier. You don't even have to case the place. You don't have to take notes for days, weeks, or months of their tracking their whereabouts. You can just Google it. Hey, Blake Snell's not going to be there on Tuesday.
And 2 days later, they did the same thing to Richard Sherman's home, who was a football player for a lot of years for the Seahawks and the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
who's also broken into a home.
Oh, that's Inception.
Call that some comeuppance.
That I didn't think about.
Yeah.
I've never
who's
tried.
Next, Ryan Leaf.
I don't know how much stuff he would have.
Hey, Ryan Leaf's back, baby.
He's doing well.
Doing great. Hang out with him every year at the Super Bowl.
Especially comparatively.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love jumping over low bars.
I love jumping over low bars the way I jump over Blake Snell's fence.
Yeah.
That's my business.
You might need some higher hedges in
Might
the backyard.
absolutely need that.
Give me some Jeff Bezos hedges.
There you go. Ton going on around the world of baseball, specifically as it relates to the Mariners, which don't get a ton of TV time on this program.
Nope.
Good for they. When we get back from the break, we continue from Sadie's on 4th. It's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
12.
Welcome back to Two Men On. A little follow-up to our Anthony Edwards story earlier. The reports of the $1 million upfront child support payment. The mother, her name is Aisha Howard, she says she has not accepted that. So it's, I guess, a conversation that's being had, but there you go. So she says no, by no means official. So shoot.
Well, she's definitely not going to take it now.
No.
If that's the truth. She just realized by thousands of people like us across the country commenting on it, probably dozens, if not hundreds, of phone calls that she's received from lawyers. She's probably going to figure out real fast that this is not a good deal for her.
Well, and you're very correct in the idea that she's going to get a ton more, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's part of the process of leak this thing, create a narrative, and then carry that into the courtroom. I just don't trust anything,
For sure.
I don't trust anything.
Yeah, media is very calculated. If a story gets out, it's either breaking news that's been vetted, or it's out there for a reason.
Speaking of, the Georgia dude who swindled Dwight Howard into thinking he was buying that WNBA team, he got sentenced to jail. So he was, and I can't give you every single detail, but I can tell you this. Dwight Howard thought he was buying into a WNBA team. The Atlanta Dream, is that correct?
Sounds correct.
And it was like something crazy cheap. Like he took them for like $7 million. $7 million in this definition is crazy cheap.
Temporarily took him.
Oh, so he got $1 million up front. So he got him, he got Chandler Parsons, and Jamin.
Whoa, that's a name I haven't heard in a minute. Dang, Chandler.
And then NBA prospect James Wiseman. I don't know who he is. But a federal court on Thursday said that this dude, his name's Darden, Georgia businessman, had to forfeit $800 million as well as all the his luxury items, ill-gotten gains. You know what I mean, Van? Ill-gotten gains,
right?
Oh, including a $3.7 million mansion. There's no way I'm trying to own a mansion in Atlanta.
That's probably the nicest city in the South. What are you talking about?
$600,000 in artwork by a guy named Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Basquiat. Super talented guy.
A Lamborghini, a Rolls Royce. So there you go. Dwight Howard no longer the fake owner of the WNBA basketball team.
I just heard about this savvy businessman, James Darden. He does business like I like to do business. Welcome to my cabinet.
Give me $7 million. It's an investment towards a dream, the Atlanta dream. All we need is $1 million for every year you were an all-star. 7-time all-star, $7 million. It's poetry. 3-time defensive player of the year. That's the deal. Former Dream Garden Renee Montgomery. That's who bought the team. So that's
congratulations to the real person who got it.
So, Dwight, I got a bridge over here.
Mm-hmm. I got some oceanfront property in Arizona.
Is that also the Bare Necessities beat?
That's incredibly close.
No, it's incredibly close.
Well, I mean, you got a 2-count, 4-chord song. Like every pop song of all time is kind of follows those rules. So I'm assuming yes.
When you do stuff like that, you don't just get the fraud stuff like to the individual. You get wire fraud, you get bank fraud, you get money laundering. Like you go away forever.
To the nicest prison you've ever seen in your entire life. He's going to millionaire, billionaire prison.
Yeah.
He's not going to, I got to join a gang or I'm going to die prison. He's going to go play tennis every other Tuesday.
He's previously been in federal.
He's not going to get a handmade tattoo of a rickety, broken needle pin machine. He's probably got a massage therapist on Friday morning. Like, prison's different for people who commit these crimes. He'll be in prison. He'll get locked away for a long time. But it's not what you imagine.
It won't be a long time, though. He got locked away a couple years ago for impersonating his father in federal prison because he was trying to buy Maxim magazine.
Hey, it's me, Ricky Dolan.
Yeah. You guys know me, my father.
Sir, that's a bad impersonation. Us at Wells Fargo will never fall for that.
Yes. That's like in grade school when you learn to sign your mom's name on your report card.
I can still do it right now.
Oh, I 100% can still do it.
Yeah, impeccable.
Also, no teacher was checking that signature.
They never cared.
No, they do not care.
They never cared. You know what they get paid?
Yes.
Apparently the same salary as a AAA baseball player, I've heard recently on this program.
Allegedly.
Which is not enough.
Is Anthony Davis back yet?
In a big way.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. The trade was even. Oh God.
Put him over the Hawks, right? Like a last second doing that thing. And I know he's also an old head, Klay Thompson, but I'm the guy that's going to say if you can keep those two dudes happy down there and
get Kyrie back next year,
that'd be sweet. Convince the fan base to come on opening night. I get the ones that already have season tickets are cooked, like they're stuck, but get them to come back next year. Get a good draft pick.
Next season,
yeah,
for the Dallas Mavericks is just going to be the movie Major League, but for basketball.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
They're trying to get them to lose, but here comes a healthy Anthony Davis who plays 82 games. Here comes a Kyrie Irving who believes in a round earth, and he plays 82 games.
First of all, he's walked that back. Like you can wear Kyrie's again; they're fine.
Oh, they're great shoes. I'm happy he switched back.
And they're going to do it just like in the movie Major League with like Wild Thing Rick Vaughn, but it's Ja Morant.
Yeah,
like you trade your good pick because they have picks.
He's like, hey. This is Texas. We're an open carry state.
Yeah.
Ja, you do the gun. Yeah. You do the guns at home.
Yeah.
Not on the road.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome to the team, our real life Aggie, Ja Morant. Pew pew. What's like the most prominent rap song with gunshots in the beginning?
I think it's called All of Them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what he comes out to, a medley of all of them.
Oh.
He actually comes out to, I'm not going to get the name of the band right, but you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. The theme song to the TV show Cops.
The Bad Boys.
The Bad Boys song.
What you going to do?
Yeah.
Let me reach deep into the vault here.
All right.
Eno Kamazi.
That's not
Bad
correct.
Boys.
That's Hot Steppa.
I think he did both.
All right, I'm going to tell you right now. This is a Google moment.
Okay. It's a Google lull in the program. I'm very excited. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Inner circle.
Right here.
Inner circle.
At Sadie's on 4th Street.
You would not have come up with that.
Eventually. I was kind of just leaning into hoping it was Eno Kamazi.
If you would have came up with that, what you going to do?
I'm right here. I'm feet away from you. You don't got to come. You don't got to come for me. Oh, so I'm a very good boy.
That Eno Kamazi song, Here Comes the Hot Steppa. He's a lyrical gangsta. Excuse me, Mr. Officer. Why do we know so many lyrics to this?
Because I was a teenager. my brain worked then. I had a memory back then.
It was also the one where you could just speak the lyrics. It very much helps you. half hour of the program whenever we get back. It's 2 Men On live from Sadie's on 4th.
It's rocking in here, by the way.
There's so many people here. 95.9 FM and AM 610. Hey, radio advertising super works, friends of the show. The Sports Animal. It's got a little bit of a bleed here, doesn't it?
Let it go. Just let it go. Oh, Special Express just for you, buddy.
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On. With yesterday's blowout win over the Pistons, the Thunder are now tied with the 96 Bulls. That's Michael Jordan. That's Scottie Pippen.
And Y for stands for replaying your song.
That's Dennis Rodman. for the best net rating of all time. Isaiah Killick.
From you.
Joining us on the program.
In my heart, the thunder of guns tear me apart. You've been thunderstruck.
Oh, yeah.
Walked down the highway, broke the limit, we hit the dawn. Went through to Texas, yeah, Texas, and we had some fun.
And make them multiply. If this world was mine, I take it enemies and.
It's the remix.
I'm so proud of Zay playing Kendrick Lamar.
He's been Luther struck.
Kyle Biederwolf joins us on the program. Kyle Biederwolf, board member of the Boys and Girls Club of Central New Mexico, my personal friend, and irrationally the biggest Thunder fan on the entire earth. Kyle, welcome to the program.
Carlos, if you're listening right now, you heard that. The biggest Thunder fan on the entire earth.
With yesterday's blowout win over the Pistons.
Oh, there he is.
The Thunder are now tied with the 96 Bulls. That's Michael Jordan, that's Scottie Pippen, that's Dennis Rodman for the best net rating of all time.
Yeah. Look at the other teams there, too. It's like the 92 Bulls, the 17 Warriors. They're in some really great company right now.
They're going to win 69 games. Nice.
That would be incredible.
They're going to go to the finals and lose to the Lakers.
That's impossible.
That is impossible.
Oh, okay.
Western Conference Finals.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I am hoping that the Lakers stick that 3 seed because I think the Lakers OKC Western Conference Finals is the best finals you're going to get, or the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Hard agree.
And if you get the Cavs and the Celtics on the East, I mean, you're talking about
Boston in 6.
I think so. And then if the NBA is healthy and good and America loves it, you get the Lakers and the Celtics. And if actual good basketball teams win, you're going to get Oklahoma City and the Cavs.
And Cleveland.
Yeah, that's going to suck.
You know, that's what Nosferatu Adam Silver wants.
Hey,
Cleveland, Oklahoma City.
I'll give you this stat. The Oklahoma City Thunder are 29-1 against the East this year. Beat every single team twice, except for the Cavs.
Why do you know that?
Ooh.
Didn't you just call me the biggest Thunder fan on the face of the earth?
I can't name 5 players on their team.
Really? The other day, I threw my arm around you and I said, "Are you officially a Thunder fan now?" And you looked down on me and said, "I don't watch the NBA."
Unless it's the last leg of a prize pick, and then you want to watch it hit. It's so satisfying.
The thing about this Oklahoma City team is they're either on the precipice of becoming a dynasty, or they're on the precipice of becoming the greatest disappointment in the history of professional sport. And there's no in between for them.
Totally. And you know what? What was the first thing you said? Let's go with that. I am pretty excited for the playoffs to start. You know, I really think the NBA just ramps it up. Once there's some meaning behind everything. You know, the Thunder have been playing hard for how many games? 74 games now, 75 games now. Can't say the same about everybody. But this is really when you've seen the Warriors the last couple of weeks really turn it up.
Go through the motions.
Oh, yeah. The Lakers, you know, I mean, they dropped a couple. I don't know what's going on with your boys. I think they're going to be okay, but...
Didn't they win last night? They won last night.
The Lakers will be just fine.
They played tonight against the big game against the Warriors, right?
Yeah, we played tonight versus the Warriors. Although I hate when the Lakers play the Warriors because they're my favorite team, secondary to the Lakers, and Steph's my second favorite player. So it's like my parents fighting.
Hey, are you also a Yankees fan and a Cowboys? I know you're a Cowboys fan. I got that with you.
Yes, yeah, Cowboys, Lakers, and I declared Rockies this year.
There we go.
All right. Keeping it local. I like that.
Yeah.
Second worst team in the MLB. At least no one's going to call you a bandwagon for that one.
Kyle, your Thunder notwithstanding excellence, obviously. What happens when playoff Luka runs into playoff Jimmy and only one can prevail? These guys have taken teams of nobodies by themselves to the finals.
Nobodies? They're not like Dirk. Come on, man. Who hasn't Jimmy had around him whenever he's made it there?
Who, Jaime Jaquez?
Bam Adebayo, you're gonna Tyler Hero. There's no one. Dirk was with some scrubs, but
Bam's lucky to be in the league.
Please put some respect on you.
He's a contract liability.
Oklahoma City has to win this year because in 2 years, it's all Spurs moving forward. In 2 years, it's Wemby. In 2 years, it's Castle. In 2 years, it's Fox. This is their one opportunity to win their one championship, and then they will be cooked forever.
Oh, yeah. The Oklahoma City Thunder, where their oldest player can't even rent a car yet. Like, yeah, their playoff window is slammed shut. The Oklahoma City Thunder and their almost record-setting team and their 32 impending first-round draft picks.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, the Spurs are going to be an issue for the entire league for the next decade, or as long as they hang on to Wembanyama. But who knows if Pop's going to be back on the sideline next year? You know, I mean, obviously everyone wishes him the best health. Yeah, but I mean, you take away probably the best developmental coach ever, take him off. I'm not saying that Wemby isn't going to shine. I'm saying that maybe they're not the dynasty they were in the early 2000s.
The Oklahoma City Thunder don't need the motivation of playing teams. They beat teams. What Oklahoma City's city council needs to do, what the city of Oklahoma City needs to do is say, you win the championship this year or you're going back to Seattle. They need to put that out there and say it is chip this year. And Seattle's not the destination it was when they left in 07. It's a hole right now. It's It's the armpit of West Coast existence, and you put that. You say it's better here or else. That's
that Carlos is going to be proud of me with this one. That can't happen. Last year, the city of Oklahoma voted to like a multi-billion-dollar.
The city of Oklahoma.
Oklahoma City, excuse me. The city of Oklahoma City voted like a multi-billion-dollar tax package to redo their entire downtown, build a brand new stadium, build the highest skyscraper in the country. So they're all. I'm not even kidding. Look it up. The highest skyscraper in the entire country is going to be in Oklahoma City in 8 years.
Yeah.
You want to fact check me?
No, I don't. But I also don't want Timothy to hear about this.
You don't think Shia LaBeouf, Gilgamesh Alexander wants to get closer to Canada? He would love to be in Seattle.
Not if he wins a ship this year. He's going to be goated in Oklahoma City, and they'll give him every cent he wants for the rest of his life.
What is Oklahoma City going to call this building? The Burj Khalifa?
That's a good name. I really like that.
I don't know. I was trying to come up with something about Gilgamesh Alexander, but this is tougher than you'd think.
The river's red. The politics are red. There's got to be something there. I feel like we can make it work. Every red cent. I mean, I can keep going.
If they win, I bet they'll call it the Shea.
CHEZ.
He seems like the type of dude, if you asked him to furnish it, he would be really excited about doing it. If you went to him and you were like, listen, we got the bones done in the new venue.
Mm-hmm.
Just hear me out. Little decor. SGA, little decor, brother. Can you do it? He would jump on the opportunity.
Oh, yeah. And he'd make sure that there was a perfect spot for his MVP trophy, his future world champion trophy, his future
you think he's MVP?
finals MVP. Yeah.
Because Jordan won MVP in 96, and that's the team they're better than.
I mean, Shea's going to win MVP. Jokic is having an unbelievable year, but Shea's flirting with 70 wins and is the scoring champion. Like, it's...
Nikola Jokic is having the best season of any basketball player in the history of the sport.
Yeah.
No basketball player has ever been top 10 in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. He's top 3 in all of them.
Yeah, do not get me wrong that Jokic is the best player in the NBA. If I could start a team, I would choose him over Shea. But
he's averaging 32.8. 32.8.
He's averaging 32.8.
Yeah,
that's nice. That's my birthday, March 28th. What a nice number.
How did you make that connection?
See it everywhere.
This is synchronicity comment. Is that what we're doing?
This is how serial killers talk. We're giving away Ice Dopes tickets when we get back from the break. It's Tuning on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. I would normally say it was a segment too late, but you can never be too late when talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder, so I'm in on it. We're giving away Isotopes tickets, 505-246-0610. We got a couple sets of 4 that we can give to you. Reach out to the program. The trivia question today, Van.
Okay.
What was the score of today's game? What was the score?
Can you be more specific?
Of today's Isotopes day game.
Isotopes day game. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of games going on right now.
It's today's Isotopes day game. What was the score today? Call Carlos at the station, and he will give you 4 tickets April the 15th to Isotopes Park. If you tell him the score of today's game. So there you go, man.
Also, it just so happens to be Kyle Beaterwolf's height.
It just so happens to be his birthday. The score of today's day game. Also, a lot of cool stuff going on at the park this Saturday. Adult mariachi ponchos, or as Van calls them,
drug rugs.
That's what you call them.
Yeah.
505-246-0610. Reach out to the station, and Carlos will give you 4 tickets April the 15th. Isotopes Park. It is Jackie Robinson Day. It's going to be a good one.
Not a good one. That's a great one.
It might be the best one.
They really go all out to honor Jackie Robinson and everything he stood for on that day. They do it right.
They do a big video package. They obviously do the program with youth groups, including the Boys and Girls Club of Central New Mexico, as they share their artist interpretation of what Jackie Robinson was as far as first-time opportunities and individuals. So it's going to be a lot of fun. 505-246-0610. What was the score of today's Isotopes game? And Carlos back at the station will.
Friend of the show, phone's ringing off the hook. I hope they answered your call.
Yeah. We could give away 2.
2 at a time?
We could give away 2 4-packs.
Look, if you only need 2 guys, let them know.
Well, no, I mean, take all 4.
Give them to make 2 new friends.
2 friends.
Make 2 new friends. You can make a lot of friends easily here right now at Sadie's on 4th Street.
There's so many
people here.
And
I think there's a group right on the other side of the wall from us.
Excited to be here.
Who wants this table. And they're excited we're here.
Yeah,
but
ready for
way
us to
more
go.
excited for us to leave.
Wait until we go to the patio and listen to live music and drink margs.
Hell yeah, baby. CJ and Black Horse, country music at its finest. About to go down on the patio.
Speaking of CJ, you can see us tomorrow night at Isotopes Park as we are broadcasting live from the concourse, and then we are drinking from the mezzanine.
Insanely accurate.
That is very much correct. And all the way, some friends of the show hanging out with us here at Sadie's. It's going to be a absolute fun one, not just today, but into the weekend. And then obviously we're going to have the big 4, our final 4 over the weekend. And then on Monday, it's going to be a ton of fun out at Howie Sports Page. Isaiah, welcome back to the program. Isaiah, what is our broadcast schedule on Monday? What is our broadcast schedule for the national championship here on Westwood 1 CBS Sports Radio?
You guys are bumping at the start.
I don't speak. I'm not cool enough to understand what that means.
Well, you said the word bump earlier, so I said bumping at the start. But also, you're going to hear me and Carlos at the same time. As you see, he's getting blown up from all the listeners. I want Isotope tickets. So it's
Carlos is the type of guy to answer every single phone call
he's so
and
nice.
let them down easy that they didn't win tickets.
So and I'm so sorry for my confusion. Our hours on Monday are 4 till what? little bit of radio silence. Probably still looking into it.
Yeah.
Got to figure it out.
Okay.
I don't know what time the game starts on Monday.
We're either going to have a full show or no show
or some show. Yeah, that's what it's going to come down to. And there's always a pregame. Westwood
Game starts at 6:50, so I would plan on most likely, historically, it'll be 6:49 out.
Well, there's a pregame. So pregame. So we'll have to factor that in.
Yeah.
So
we're
we're
going
going
to go 6:30, which I will be doing at Howie's.
Yeah,
I'll be pre-gaming at Howie's.
So
then
we're
watching
on
the
till
Natty.
the 6 o'clock ish hour.
Sounds right.
2 hours ish of your boys, and then we hand it over to Westwood One, where you can listen to the national championship game on your drive over to Howie's. Howie's. And then
Did we mention we're going to Howie's?
and that's actually the end of our contractual obligation. We are done with Howie's for the year after that.
Oh, I doubt it. We're always finding really good reasons to go back to Howie's.
What do you know that I don't know?
There's more sports.
Good program today, Van. Thank you to Sadie's for having us. Big thank you to Kyle Biederwolf. Big thank you to Gil Sanchez. Carlos and Isaiah back at the studio. Van, final words?
Oh, my goodness, my friend. Too much for the time allotted. Anything we didn't cover, make sure you check out tomorrow morning on the opening drive with Jeff and JJ.
Good job, everyone. Keep breathing.
See you tomorrow, Burke.